Good afternoon, everybody. It is once again Ted the Speed Learner, and I will say right off the bat that posting an occasional frivolous tweet is not a problem. It brightens people's days, that kind of thing. It's wonderful. Even I post an occasional frivolous tweet. But if all you're posting up on the internet is nothing but occasional frivolous tweets, and you're not posting up anything else, well, that could become a problem. Why? Because if you're a young person, what happens is you try to apply for a college, okay? Maybe for a college scholarship, or you just try to get into a college. And what they do is anything that you've left out there for the whole world to see, they'll read it. And when they read it and they see what kind of a frivolous airhead you are, they may not let you into your college. They may not let you get the scholarship. And if it's an employer looking at this stuff, they may not give you a job. Yeah, you may have a tough time getting gainful employment because of that. Well, this person is such a total airhead, we don't want to hire him. See what I mean? So, it's not that you can't post occasional frivolous tweets. It's just you can't do it all the time. Because if that's the only picture these people get, they'll never believe that you're really smart. Doesn't matter how many academic tests you know, they're watching what's going on in your life. Because what they're going to say is, well, what's on this person's mind on a regular basis? Is it good, wholesome things, or is it just frivolous things? See what I mean? And that's what I'm addressing here. There is a Twitter person, it's called It's a Girl's World. It's a girl world, okay? And this person says, I understand your problems. Now, from what I'm seeing off of this person is not like 40, 50 years old. This is a young person, probably just out of high school, probably getting into college, that kind of thing. And so, I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, so you are publicly putting out into the world this kind of information. This could hurt your chances of going to college. This could hurt your chances of getting gainful employment. Because, like I said, college people and employers read public stuff. Now, to show you just how public this stuff really is, we have a place called Ask FM. I've never heard of Ask FM before, but this person has posted up a bunch of stuff here too. And I'm going to show you just how frivolous this is. Now, like I said, it's not that it's occasionally frivolous, which is okay, it's just almost totally frivolous here. Let's go into this. Here this person is talking about preferences in people's hair. Well, who would I go out with? Would I go out with somebody with blonde hair or brunette hair? Okay, if I was a person trying to decide who I was going to go out with, I would see if that person had a good personality, if this person was financially stable, if this person was well educated. An unemployed bum is something that you don't want to get involved with. It's that simple. It doesn't matter how cute they look. After a while, that cuteness goes away and you're still having the bills. Okay? And then they talk about beverages and what kind of beverages they drink. Here's the problem with that. If you're talking about things like alcohol or tons of caffeine or tons of sugar, you're talking about possible diabetes, you're talking about caffeine addiction, you're talking about alcohol addiction. It could be something worse. I wonder what kind of healthy drinks these people are drinking. Now, here's a question that I think is relevant. If these people do painting as a hobby, okay, what kind of paintings are they? Are they full-scale landscape paintings that you can hang on your wall and it kind of reminds you of a nice vacation? Or is it some kind of a portrait where you preserve the portrait of the person for the rest of their lives or even thereafter? Okay? Or is it just some frivolous cartoon that you paint? Now, there is a difference between Charles Schulz and the guy who does Garfield, and to somebody that just doodles. See what I mean? And the different types of paint that they use. Watercolors, acrylic paints, oil-based paints. That can make a lot of difference. Okay. And let me tell you something. Being famous is not all it's cracked up to be. When you're not famous, you have one set of problems. When you are famous, you have a different set of problems. So basically, when you become from unfamous to totally famous, what you do is you shift from one set of problems to a different set. And then they're talking about addictions, which is something you really should know something about. And yes, I'm addicted to rock and roll too. There's nothing wrong with it unless you bust shut your eardrums. Otherwise, you're okay. Okay? And then they're talking about flawless women. I don't know. I have never ever seen a totally flawless woman. Even the ones that are the most flawless have flaws somewhere. Whether it be personality or some kind of a mole they don't show you right off the bat or something. There's always some kind of a flaw. So, when it comes to iPhones, iPads, iPods, Apple computers of any kind, I don't deal with Apple. The reason is that they are proprietary, and that means if something breaks on it, you can't take it to just any service shop. You have to take it to an Apple store. And if that Apple store doesn't have to be close by, you got a real nightmare on your hands. Especially if you're trying to fix an Apple product at 3 o'clock in the morning. Okay. Now, deciding which color in the color wheel best represents you, that can reveal personality traits. That I find important. Okay, but this person is kind of young, does not have a long memory of television or even radio commercials. So to ask this person what they think in the line of a good advertisement, yeah. Now to me, I happen to have a very long memory, and one of the commercials I remember was from a soda pop company. They had this replicated space station, and this hero comes in. He's got an alien sidekick. The waitress comes up. The waitress goes up to the hero and says, "Howdy, stranger." Looks at the alien and says, "And stranger yet." That was kind of cute. The other one I remember real well was yet another soda pop commercial where they were saying, if you collect so many and so many points, we'll give you an F-14 fighter jet. Well, this guy, I don't know who it was, managed to get all those points, and so they had to give him a ride in an F-14 fighter jet. Moral of the story, if you're going to offer something, make sure you can back it up. In other words, you're going to tell somebody you're going to send them to the moon, make sure that you have a spacecraft ready to go to send them to the moon, because they'll most likely get the points they need to go to the moon. I don't know how they'll do it, but if they're inventive enough, they will. Okay? And yes, you can miss people whether they go on a trip, whether they move away, or even when they die. When they die, you can miss them there too. So that is a good question. Asking about concerts, my answer to you is this: as long as the concert you're going to, if you see the crowd ingesting a lot of intoxicating substances, leave that concert immediately. Okay? Number two, if the music is so loud that it starts busting out your eardrums, wear earplugs or don't go. And this person was saying that their greatest discovery on the internet was Twitter. Wrong. My greatest discovery was YouTube. Why? Because it gave me an opportunity to educate those that were facing eviction, starvation, and bullyism, and hopefully improve the economy. And maybe even improve the school system. That was my greatest discovery. Twitter is just too frivolous to be a great discovery. It's fun, certainly, but it is not the greatest discovery on the internet. Okay? Now, when being asked about the things I like about my hometown, the one thing I do like is that they actually brought in those Looking for Lincoln Heritage Coalition wayside markers, and they erected them in cool places, and that really spruced up our town. I do like how they're sprucing up our town, but they did destroy a lot of historical landmarks, which does make me kind of sad, because a lot of my memories went right down with the rubble. And it's hard for me to picture Decatur like it was when I was a kid, because a lot of the stuff that was there when I was a kid is now no longer there. Okay. To hear that a person prefers a movie over a book disturbs me. I like movies just like the next guy, but I also like books, and I like them a lot more because, number one, you don't have to pay an arm, leg, hand, and foot to read a book, and number two, you don't have to stare at a screen. That gets hard on your eyes. Books are never hard on your eyes, unless you're reading some kind of a Kindle. Okay? And let me tell you something, nobody looks that great when they wake up in the morning. They may convince themselves of that, but they don't really look that great when they first wake up in the morning. And let me tell you something, when it comes to bad breath, yeah, that could be a real problem first thing in the morning. You kind of have to watch out what you eat at night, and more importantly, brush your teeth at night so you don't smell like Genghis Khan when you wake up in the morning. Okay? Asking somebody what they dream about at night can reveal part of their personality. Are they hypertensive or what? Okay? And there are a lot of things that people could do badly on a first date. A lot of things. One of the things is if you're going to take somebody out on a date for the very first time and you don't make it clear that you're going to go Dutch or that you're going to pay or whatever, that could become a very awkward situation. So you need to kind of almost specify what you're going to do before you do it. Alright, now let's take a look at some of these tweets over here. Okay, this person watches Hannah Montana. Now I will say this of Hannah Montana. It's not a terribly bad show, but it's kind of an empty show. It's like eating a lot of empty calories. Although I will say that I'd rather watch Hannah Montana than some of the other shows like SpongeBob or Family Guy or The Simpsons. So, yeah. And then complaining about folding laundry, that's just a part of life. Even I fold laundry. I also clean dishes. I also clean my bedroom whenever I get a chance. I just haven't had a chance in a while. Alrighty. And then product endorsements. Okay, I don't know what electric baby lips are. Might want to specify. And then saying that you're taking pictures, secret pictures of cute waiters. Yeah. And then complaining because somebody woke you up on a Saturday morning and asked you for $5. It's the summertime. You're not in college right now. It's a time for you to relax. You can go back to bed. You know, you can say that if you want, but you could also say some positive things. Hey, the sun is shining. I've got a warm bed to sleep on. I'm in a comfortable house. I feel safe. I feel secure. I got food in the fridge. Let's say some positive things too. How about that? Okay. And then they say how nice the weather is where they're at. Well, the real question is, how nice is it? Is it sunny? Is it nice and cool? Is there a gentle breeze going on outside? Is it a cloudless day? Tell us what's so nice about it so we can all appreciate it. Okay. I'm like this person when they say that they're talking about having honey roasted peanuts and honey roasted peanut butter. I agree. Both of them are very, very good. So. And then they complain that they're bored. With all the things that are happening in my life right now, I hardly ever have a time to be bored. Except when I'm reading stuff like this, and this kind of gets boring rather quick. Let's have some substance, shall we? Let's talk about topics that really will stir the mind. Anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and end the video here for now. You kind of get this idea that it's not that there's an occasional frivolous tweet, because like I said, I make those frivolous tweets myself. But it's all frivolous. There's nothing to stimulate the mind here. There was a few things, but come on. I think we could do better than this. So, I hope you young people of today learned something from this. And maybe if you learn how I responded to all of this tweet stuff here and what was on Ask.fm, maybe you'll put more informative stuff on your tweets. And if you do so, there's a good chance somebody will either admit you into college, or they might give you some gainful employment. See what I mean? So this video was actually in your benefit to hopefully get your mind stimulated so you'll make better posts, more interesting posts, which will cause people to take notice of you and ignore somebody else. Alright, I will tell you more in a future video. Stay tuned.